I'm so purple today. I look like a fashionable bruise. Hello, hello! How are we all doing? Are we doing well? So, I wanted to make a video about all the TV shows that I used to watch as a kid because there were some absolute cracking shows. But I watched a lot of TV, so I've had to split it into two parts. So, this is going to be the UK edition. I don't think I'm going to do reviews. I think I'm just going to talk about it, be a little bit nostalgic, see what I remember. My absolute favourite had to be Horrible Histories. It still is. I love it. I went on about how much I loved it in a separate video, so I won't bore you with all that again. I'll put a card so you can go and watch that if you want. I'll start with like the CBeebies shows. I don't remember a lot about them. I think it's mostly the general gist and the theme tune. But these theme tunes come into my head in like the weirdest moments. Like Little Robots, I swear that theme tune was in my head for about a year when I was about 19. Little robot, little robot. Because I think it was Lenny Henry doing the voices of it. He did a lot of kids shows. Because he did Big and Small as well, but that was a bit after my time. Because he's got a really expressive voice. So it works really well for voiceovers for kids' characters. Wasn't there one that was like a bat and it was called Scary? And there was one that used to play football called Sporty, and basically robot versions of the Spice Girls, really. Rubber Dubbers, that comes into my head too. It's the here come the rubber dubbers, splish, splash, splish, splash. They were just bath toys, I think, that came to life. Yeah, it was all like set in a bathroom. And you had, I think there was a frog. I remember there being like a wind-up shark as well, possibly a boat. Oh, an absolute classic, 64, 64, 64 Zoo Lane. Oh my god, I loved it. Is that, and the last one's Georgina, who's incredibly tall. I can't sing. Did she like live next door to the zoo? I think she did. And she'd get on the giraffe's head and like climb down its neck. And then she'd like go and play with all the animals. That was always on like towards the end of programming. So like before 7 o'clock when it was CBeebies bedtime. And you had your bedtime stories. Oh my god, I miss that. Balamory! I loved Balamory! Oh my god. To be fair, I'm literally dressed like a Balamory character today because I'm matching my house. The only thing with Balamory is when I see Miles Jupp, who played Archie on other things like Mock the Week or like on like Live at the Apollo, and he starts swearing or talking about like grown-up things, I'm like, no, la 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 la, ruining my childhood. Tweenies, I loved the Tweenies. Doodles. I forgot about Doodles. I saw the Tweenies live when I was about 5, I think, at Wembley. They released some really good music as well. I love a Tweenies song. Hey, hey, are you ready to play? It's time to come and play with the Tweenies. I also saw Sooty live about 5 times. I loved a Sooty show. My favourite was Sweep, and I had a little Sweep puppet that used to squeak. But I absolutely hated Sue, the little panda. She really irritated me. I think it's because she could talk. I think she could talk. While we're on the subject of puppets, Basil Brush. Oh, I bloody loved Basil Brush. I've watched quite a lot of like the old ones as well, where he used to have like celebrity guests like Cilla Black and like Demis Roussos as well. I'm really jealous because my nephew met Basil Brush and Mr. Stephen. I was not happy about that. I was working that day, I think. As I got a little bit older, I started watching CBBC. I really got into Sarah Jane Adventures. Absolutely loved it. I found that some of Sarah Jane Adventures was scarier than actual Doctor Who. There was like a couple of Gorgon episodes where this group of nuns were hiding a Gorgon in their convent. Oh my god, that was terrifying. There was a clown as well that was like really like Pennywise-esque that was kidnapping children. That was Bradley Walsh, I think. Absolutely loved Sarah Jane Adventures. I might rewatch it, you know. I'm going to rewatch Sarah Jane Adventures. One of my absolute all-time faves is Young Dracula. Oh my god, I loved that show. When it first came out, I think I was a little bit scared of it because I think I was slightly too young for it. And it had quite a lot of scary scenes for a kids' show. But then when it came back and they were living in the school and they were all slightly older, I loved it. Oh my god, I was obsessed with it. I think that started my vampire obsession, to be honest, because like I had dark hair, pale skin, didn't particularly like going out in the sunshine. And in those later series, I really fancied Bertrand and Malik. Oh my god. Yes, please. I need to rewatch that as well. Oh my god, I've got so much to rewatch. I think my top 3 would probably be Horrible Histories, definitely. Then Young Dracula. And then Sarah Jane Adventures. Obviously, I watched a lot more than that. Like, those were just like the favourites that stood out for me when I was taking my notes. I think I probably missed out quite a few people's favourites. But if I did, let me know. I'd love to know what you used to watch as a kid. But yeah, this was the TV shows that I loved as a kid, UK edition. US edition will be out next month. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more of this. Whiteboard of Dreams, tell me your secrets. Coming up on Friday at 6 p.m, I'm going to be talking about the Cornetto trilogy. So that's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz and World's End. I have spoken about it before, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail. But as always, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye!